everybody. Welcome back to the Winner's Circle. I'm Derek Levasseur.
And I'm Cody Calafieri.
And we are here with our boy, Christian, evicted a few hours ago, brother.
Yeah.
How are you feeling, my man?
Man, I'm feeling good because I did get a chance to play this game, and anybody who's in this position that even gets a chance to play would be excited, but I'm absolutely upset that I went out before jury this soon and don't get to spend the summer with these amazing people.
Well, dude, you said something that's amazing because we always say this show's called the Winner's Circle, but you didn't win the game, but you are a winner for the reasons you just said, because you know how hard it is to get on this show. It's not easy. And the minute you walked in that house, you're a winner, because I can promise you there's hundreds of thousands of people out there right now who wish they were in your shoes. So I'm glad you have that mindset. That's a good place to stay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And also it's a blessing to be a part of the Big Brother family. Everybody takes care of you. It's definitely a cool thing to be a part of, because I said it last week to Whitney, there's such a small percentage of people that even get on the show that put in for it. So take that as you go. You know what I mean? I think you got a good mindset, and it was fun watching you, bro. It was fun watching you.
I appreciate that. I was wondering what past house guests would be watching, and the fact that you two are watching means a lot.
Bro, we're watching. We have to now. We're dedicated now. The pod now they're holding us accountable.
With the podcast, exactly.
Yeah. So we'll jump right into it. We size up the questions pretty similar to all the evicted house guests, just to get the different perspectives. So first question is, what were your expectations before going into the house? And now that you've been in there and you're out of the house, were those expectations met? Were they the same, or were they different? And then if they were, how so?
Honestly, my expectations going to the house was that I thought the competitions from my end would be much more difficult. I did not have a hard time. I did not have a hard time competing in the competitions, but then again, I'm out week 5.
Yeah, we saw that. We saw you blowing through comps, so we get it.
Yes, I'm out week 5 though. So there's one thing that I underestimated, was severely underestimated the social game, and I put such a priority on the competition. So I wish I would change that in the past, or if I could go back, I would change that, but I did underestimate the social aspect of it, which is hard to believe considering how big of a social experiment I already thought it was coming into this.
Well, I'll say this to you. You didn't have a bad social game at all. So I thought you did great socially. You just painted a huge target on your back because of the competition. So don't be too hard on yourself. Socially, you were great. You were very well received by your house guests, but you were also very difficult to beat, and nobody, everybody took note. So
my pitches at the end was like, "Oh, I'm not that big of a like I don't know what you mean."
No, they weren't buying it, bro. Just so
no
they weren't
really
buying it. We talked about house guests and being allowed to come and play this game. There's a lot of people listening to this podcast right now or watching it who may be potential house guests in the future, just like yourself, where you don't know, but there's someone who's listening to you right now, who's watching what you say, who might be on next season. So that being said, now that you've played the game, what advice would you have for those future house guests?
Future house guests. Is this for people most likely trying to get on the show, or people that
they just got on the show? They just got the call. They're going into the house. They got one call. They phone a friend. They call Christian. What are you telling them?
I'd tell them to prioritize your social game over competitions, because the reason why Sarah Beth remained on the block the entire week, and the only reason why she survived it, was because her social game was much stronger than mine, and she had the ability to, in my head, I think she was behind putting me up in order to survive. So socially, you need to prioritize that much more than winning every comp.
Good advice.
Good advice. Finding that balance is really the key to having a lot of success in the Big Brother house. Our next question, we go into this, Derek and I have questions from the fans that post on the Winner's Circle podcast page on Instagram. And so this question comes from @Riley_Alexander16. Christian, did you ever consider making a final 2 with Derek? The two of you could have steamrolled comps for a while, I think.
I think that honestly, any agreement we made past week 1 where there was already enough drama that Frenchie stirred up would have just seemed fake. And that's partially the reason why we not only didn't have a final 2 together, but we kind of avoid each other in the house, because every single interaction seemed it wasn't genuine because we knew that we were each other's targets. So, hey, let's go to final two together is just such a lie to both of our faces. I don't want to sit next to him, and I know he doesn't want to sit next to me.
Nah, listen, sometimes you see it. I saw it on my season too. I had a couple guys that, I just knew didn't want to work with me. It was one of those things. Donnie on my season, he was nice to my face, but I knew he wasn't going to roll with me. Another question from the fans on IG. This is from @emilymar.ie. Christian, do you regret, and you kind of already hinted at this a lot, but you know what? I got to ask you a question now. Do you regret having so many competitions wins so early in the game? I think I know your answer, but if you want to elaborate on it.
Yeah, so I definitely, actually, I don't regret the wins that I had. I regret me isolating myself with Alyssa so often, which I don't regret the wins because I think there was a route that I could have there's a route where I do have as many wins as I had and had a better social game and survived a lot longer. And I didn't have the balance, like Cody said. I had one, I didn't have the other. And I think there was an avenue where maybe in this avenue, I never sleep because I'm always socializing, which is fine. That's what you got to do in this house. You don't get much sleep anyways, but
no doubt.
Either balance it or you have to prioritize one or the other. And it's not the comps. It has to be social. So there's a way where I could have done all the same amount of competitions wins that I had and still survived if I had a more, or honestly, if I had less of a distraction.
Oh, baby. Showmances are.
We said it. Like one of the first weeks we heard you and Alyssa were starting to connect. It's not the idea of a showmance isn't as much of a threat anymore to people. Like people don't, they know it's a duo, it's two votes, but what you said is exactly right. It's more for the two people in the showmance where you gravitate towards the person you want to spend. It's a new relationship. You want to hang out with them. You see them across the room. You're going to want to go sit with them. You're going to want to snuggle with them. And you're right. That's where those connections that are being established throughout the house, you miss out on them because you're building such a strong relationship with this girl, or in her case, this guy. And so at least you're not naive to it. You understand what was transpiring there, but the heart wants what the heart wants, right?
That's right.
People don't understand how much free time is to be had in the house.
We understand, bro.
Man.
We understand.
I know you guys do, but it's, with all that free time, you want to be with your person.
No doubt.
And
no doubt.
Regardless of if it's showmance or best friend, whatever it is, every single person, especially in this season, has their person.
Well, my person was Cody. So
we cuddled. Exactly. We cuddled a bit on the couches. It was just after dark. When Big Brother After Dark was happening. Him and I were by the pool table. But yeah, man, I got to tell you, just listening to you right now, you're being super hard on yourself about your social game. But I think you just touched on it a little bit. It's more about you really diving into that relationship with Alyssa and missing out on the connections with everybody else. And you really do need those. So now I know you're out of the house. It's really nice actually to get out of the house. You take a breath of fresh air, but I need you to put your Big Brother hat back on.
All right.
Okay.
Back on.
And try to be a little subjective here or objective. I'm not entirely sure.
Objective.
If you would have won HOH this week when Derrick X did, who would have been your two nominees and why?
Okay. If I had won this week, I really think I would have targeted SB and Kylan. This is no longer a team game. That twist ended. And so I would have been fine with putting up my past teammate, SB. We already knew she was a threat going into this week. So I would have put up SB and Kylan, the strongest duo in the house. The only people that have the only duo besides Claire and Tiffany that have competition wins. I would have put them up, let them compete. In the event that I won or any of them won, I hope they would use the veto and I'd be able to put up Derrick X and either backdoor him or take out one of the three because those three people are the strongest three in the house.
Oh, that's good to hear. That's good to hear though. So that means Derrick X made the right move this week.
Yeah,
he absolutely did, which is why I'm upset because I didn't make the move last week.
He made the right move. That's interesting. That's interesting.
I said in one of the later podcasts I spoke to, or earlier podcasts I spoke to, was that if I were sitting in the jury house and Derrick X were in the finale, he would have my vote because he did something at the perfect time and he did it before I could do it when I wanted. I went against my best judgment last week and I should have.
Was it in your head last week?
Yes, it was in my head since maybe not day one, but week one. Since Frenchie started those rumors, I really knew I had to go after him. And I kept trusting the alliance over anything else. And really, I don't think there was one alliance this season that I'm aware of or that I was a part of that survived more than 1 week. Well, everything
we're gonna get that reaction very soon.
We're gonna get to that. One last question before we get into that, and you've kind of hit on this a little bit. In your opinion, right now, who's in the best position to win this game, and who would you like to see following you out the door next week? We need 2 names from you.
Best position to win the game. I do feel there are a lot of floaters in this house, and I think a floater may go to the end, or in my opinion, floater, because I'm not aligned with them. But I think Xavier, who wouldn't be a floater, he's someone I want to win the game. He has a good shot, and I think another person would be Kylan. Very, very good shot. Both strong players, but as someone that respects strong players, I do wish the best for them. Who I want to go home next week?
Probably. I think I have a guess.
Yeah, I hope Derrick X hits the road.
There it is.
I thought he was going to go another way. I thought he was going to go another way. He's hitting it.
Hey, listen, you can respect the game and still want to see him follow you home and go, see? Should have kept me. I would have been your shit.
Yeah, I want my argument to stand. Listen, buddy, I told you before you left, if you're watching the show, you're going to realize after that I would have benefited your game more if I stayed.
Listen, you're not wrong. And Derrick X is a good dude, so I think you guys are going to get along afterwards. And just so you know, you're in good company, because our pick to win the season has been from day one is Xavier. The guy's a stud. There's a lot of things you don't know about him. Do you know who Xavier? You know what Xavier does for work, actually?
Is he a lawyer?
He's a lawyer, buddy.
You guys are all talking about it. We figured you guys afterwards you're going to get to that point.
He's a lawyer, buddy.
Damn, of course he's a lawyer.
He's a lawyer, brother. And he's the real deal. He's taking the play out of Derrick's playbook. He's the real deal. Smart dude. He's got all the tangibles to win this game. Wow. So you picked a good guy because he's a stud. Just so you know. He is. But I want to hit you with something, because it seems like, we know we're later in the game. You talked about alliances. You're aware of the Royal Flush. Obviously, you were in it. Is there any other big alliance that you're aware of as you sit on the couch right now?
Well, the alliance that I was in is definitely gone. That was the Royal Flush. One that I don't know if there's a name for it or anything, but I'm sure that Derrick X, Sarah Beth, and Kylan are in something together.
They're working together. Cody, they're working. Why don't you take him? Because he doesn't know. Get ready for this. This is gonna get you. If you think if you think Xavier being a lawyer is going to get you, this one might get you a little bit better. So go for it.
Yeah.
Cody.
So there's an alliance called the Cookout, completely under the radar. Nobody has any idea that this alliance is essential. They're having a hand in almost every eviction that's going on. And it is Xavier, Tiffany, Kylan, Hannah, Azza, and Derrick F. And they are literally Derrick F. They are literally, they never are together ever. And they just kind of walk by each other. They know the deal. One of them will be in a room with each other. Then that one will go off to a room with another one, and they'll all just they'll pop around. And they really are. I got to tell you, they had a strong push to try to get you to stay this week. And then essentially it kind of fell through.
So what was it that fell? Can you tell me?
To make it quick, Tiffany was trying to go to bat for you, and so was Xavier. And basically Derrick F and Azza stopped it because Tiffany tried to convince Brittany. Brittany was on the fence, and ultimately Derrick F and Azza wanted to keep SB over you for 1 week because they just basically felt like they couldn't beat you. They felt like they couldn't beat you, and they feel like they can beat SB in the end. And they're not wrong, to be honest with you, Christian.
Yeah,
they're right. Derrick F ain't gonna beat you most. It is a compliment. They were scared of you. They were scared of you. What's your 100%. Thoughts on the Cookout? We only have a couple minutes, but what's your thoughts?
That is an insane group of people that I've never seen in a room together once in my life.
It's the best alliances, man.
What makes me feel good is just that people in that group were pushing for me to stay. So I thought you were going to say that X was a part of it and that he had something in me going, which I'm glad.
Oh, X loved you. He was mad. He wasn't happy.
Nah, he wanted it. He realized he wasn't going to ruin his game. Yeah. But we do have one final thing for you, and it's not really necessarily a question. A little bit of fun. Do you think, this is from me and Cody.
Yeah.
Cody, Tell them what the question is. We've been talking about this for a few weeks.
Well, it's more of a tutorial. You might say. We would love for you to teach us how we can train to get ourselves in the best possible shape to do backflip burpees.
Oh my gosh, you saw that, so they captured
everybody saw it. We were like, what is happening?
Well, I'm so dumb for showing off my athletic ability, man.
Yep. That's why we're giving you a little bit of crap for it, because you're a ninja showman, and you're showing everyone.
Yeah. Maybe dial that back. Maybe dial that back if you get an opportunity again. Who knows?
Yeah.
But we were
not do backflip burpees in front of the entire house, and then have the argument that, oh no, I'm not that big of a
guys, I'm not even that strong. I could just do a backflip into a burpee. 5 times.
Yeah.
No, it was impressive.
Hindsight.
Definitely made the show. And hey, listen, man, you played a great game. Good TV. Good competitor. You're definitely gonna be someone that people talk about. I think if there's ever a returning season, you're someone who's gonna be in the mix because you have the talent to go really deep in this game. Just didn't work out for you this time. But listen, like we said, if you're on the show, you're a winner. We appreciate you joining us on the Winner's Circle. But before we go, where can people follow you? Because we're sure they're gonna have more questions for you.
Yes, honestly, on almost every single social media, it's either Christian_Birkenberger, which
that's an easy last name. Sure.
Easy. BIRKENBERGER. So it's Christian either _Birkenberger or Christian.Birkenberger on pretty much everything.
Awesome. I'm sure you're gonna have a lot of questions. Be ready for it. Listen, we appreciate you joining us here in the Winner's Circle. Welcome to the BB family.
Thank you.
Take care, Christian. Good job.
Have a good one, bud.
So nice meeting you guys.
All right.
You too.